Welcome to This Is Our Earth podcast. I am Sylvia Puentes, and I invite you to these amazing conversations that explore the wonder and magic of connecting with our beautiful planet. Inspired by El Lugar, the place, originally a book by Gary Douglas, and now being actualized on our earth as we speak. What can we each be that would create a sustainable living earth? So, welcome once again, everyone, to another episode of This Is Our Earth. I am so delighted to welcome another amazing person on this incredible planet that I know. We have Bret Rockmore with us today. Hello, Bret.
Hi Sylvia. Hi everyone listening.
And I've actually known Bret for, a couple of years now. I've kind of lost count, but you have
It's
some
about eight.
incredible. Is it about 8 years?
Yeah.
Wow. And, you have some incredible stories that I heard along the way of, what life was, years ago for you and looking at your life now and what you're choosing different. But before we start, I just want to let people know this podcast of This Is Our Earth. I'm really looking forward to having all sorts of different conversations of where we may go places that you never considered might be related to the earth. This is really like kind of stepping out of what we thought it is to save the planet, to do what's right. It's really where can we contribute to the planet in ways we've never considered. And Bret, you have this amazing way of looking at what contributes to your life, what can you add to your life, and have that actually contributes to a greater earth and a greater living for you. So where would you like to begin with that?
I guess I would love to begin with um so I so basically the way that I grew up, there wasn't that much space available for me. I didn't choose to have much space. The house I grew up in was very small. Not that much furniture or like great furniture. It was like from Sears or something, which there's nothing wrong with having furniture from Sears. Um, but it wasn't the stuff that I would have loved to have in my life. And fast forwarding to a few years ago, the first time I ever went to the house of Gary Douglas and Dr. Dean here, two of the people who have started El Lugar. um, I walked in their house and I noticed how every single piece in there was a contribution to more space, to more ease, to more elegance. You walk through their house and the things didn't seem to take away from you, but it actually added to your sense of having, your sense of being, your sense of relaxation, and it just relaxed my body. And I immediately went, "Oh my gosh, what would it take to create something like this where you walk in and it's not, oh God, I have to clean the kitchen or all that stuff. Oh, I'm sitting in this uncomfortable couch." But it's like where you go in and go, "Oh, I'm so glad to be home." Because everything in here is such a contribution to me becoming greater and me being me.
And I love that energy. I mean, here you're talking about home and the space that you're creating. But as soon as you said that last piece of, wow, something contributing to me being greater, it's like, and we are a part of the earth. We're walking, I was going to say on this planet, but that's actually really a whole nother conversation about walking with the planet. And yet, I don't know that there's many people looking at their space and the items they have in their home as a way that contributes to the planet. So can you say more about that?
Yeah, well, how have you ever been out in nature where you just, you have the stresses of the day and you go out into nature and all of a sudden it's like none of that matters and it just melts away. It's like
Yeah.
what is it about yeah, what
Yeah.
is it about nature that creates that?
Wow. Because, you can be in the middle of a forest, in the middle of a jungle, and, you can somewhat even say there's a bit of chaos because things are going left, right, under, and around. And yet there is that space and relaxation. What is that? Great question. What I have never asked myself that question, and yet
Yeah, so when you're in nature, how much of everything there is looking to actually gift and contribute to you?
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, everything. Even the rocks.
Yeah. Even those dirty, no good rocks. Just kidding.
And it's amazing because it's not like, I say I go to the nearest park. It's not like I organized it all, but yet there is an energy there as I see the trees or the grass or, the flowers, whatever may be there, that there is, like, when I allow myself to totally be present, there is a flow of energy, that sense of, hey, like, here we are if you're willing to receive. And I've had the pleasure to be in your house, and I know it's always changing and evolving. And one of the things I was really grateful for is that I got to see it when early on when you moved in. And this last time I went in, I could notice the new pieces, and it was, kind of our little joke, but I'm all, you got new towels. Oh, this is new. But it's almost like there is an energy and a presence of the items in your home. Anything you can add to that? Because you guys have not rushed to furnish the whole place immediately. It seems like you guys are doing that different.
Yeah, well, there's so much to go on from there. It's like it's amazing how much there actually is in this whole thing of the space of your house or where you choose to live. There is really so much in that. It's kind of mind blowing to me. We're I want to talk about like 20 different things just from that one little snippet of conversation. But yeah, um, so my partner, I don't even know what to call her, a partner, a girlfriend. None of the usual like words seem to do justice what we have with
You
each
can just
other.
call her your goddess. No.
And my goddess, yes, my goddess Georgia and I, we got this house maybe 6 months ago, 7 months ago, something. It was in, yeah, whenever it was. And this is our first time owning a house. And we have found this house that is just so different and so beautiful. And so, what we did to even create this house coming into our lives in the first place is we made a list. We made a list of all the different qualities that we would like where we live to be. And this was at a time we were living in an apartment in Houston where we had the people next door to us like smoking weed all the time, and like there would be prostitutes coming in at like midnight and waking us up. And uh
Huh?
so the place just started going downhill, and we're like, what is actually what would we like our lives to be like? What would we like the place that we live to contribute? And so we wrote down all these different things and about, space. And um, one of the things we were looking at is just a place that would contribute to us and everyone who came there becoming greater, whatever that looked like. And I know that's one of
Whoa,
these.
whoa, whoa. Wait. Say that again, because
Yeah,
that's huge.
yeah, we asked for we we asked for a place that would contribute to us and everyone who interacts with it becoming greater.
Okay, that again is huge because as I begin to just look at my relationship with the planet or what I'd like to contribute in the world, it has this new and different energy about including everything. So where it's not exclusive. So your home isn't exclusive to both of you. You're actually now inviting that everyone that steps in to be greater because they chose to step in.
Yeah.
Uh, that almost wants to make me cry. There is a beautiful energy there that, wow, what would the planet be like if we functioned in, I would say, all areas in our lives where we are including everyone, everything.
Yeah, and it's amazing to see because as we've had to hire so many different people to work on this house. So like first of all, the house is built in craftsman style. It's 2 stories. It's beautiful. It's 3,300 square feet, and it's just so. different and so gorgeous. It's like it's so different than anything else I've ever seen in Houston before. And watching the people who want to come, who there are lots of people who come and knock at the door being like, hey, I do this service, hey, I do that service. And the people that we've chosen to actually work on our house, it's been amazing to see the pride that they have taken in contributing. Well, not everyone, but the pride that certain people have had in contributing to our house because it's so beautiful. And we've had to get used to like seeing people slow down like as they drive their cars going by because a lot of people slow down and like to look at our house.
And if I could just add there,
Yeah.
in the block or the neighborhood area, the house stands out. It is different. It's, and and it looks like it's been there. Like, I was surprised to know that you were the first to live in there. And
Yep.
yet it has the way it was built, it has this sense of age to it that is beautiful.
Yeah, it has this timeless quality to it where like we ask people just for fun usually like when do you think this was built, and like they'll give their responses, and nobody ever guesses that like 2018 which is when it was built, and they're like what, really? It's like yeah.
In this gift to what you're saying, like when people come and work on the house and what they leave with or what it gives, it reminds me, I've been at the El Lugar property in Costa Rica, and there's been people that have, construction people, like specialists, whether like pylons, I forget the actual name, but they're doing things on the property that leave different. A lot of the people working there on a regular basis are different because they're there, you know. So wow, like
Yeah,
thank
so Sylvia, what is it that creates that difference in the people? Because I can perceive a similar like a thread there. What is it that creates that difference that people walk in one way and walk out another way?
Well, one of the things that I'm aware of is it's almost like everyone who's choosing to be a part of this project of El Lugar, the resort, and there's so many other things going on, or people who choose to work there. It's almost like the unspoken awareness of what is possible for the future. So, as I was invited to be a part of the project, I was like, yes. So there's this sense of for me, like this gratitude and love for this possibility of building in communion with the earth. And my sense is that a lot of us have that, and we've never seen anyone choose it. So to be a part of something, whether you're building or they start to listen and perceive of what the target is, where it really is like the priority is the land. I've had different people from the construction going, wow, we've worked on a lot of eco-friendly construction or buildings, but this one is by far, I mean, where it's very clear that it's priority and nothing will do that will work against the land. Um, so yeah, I mean, in a few words, that's a little what I sense.
That's amazing because when I heard you talking about that, I got that sense of the people working and being this contribution. And it reminded me of I've never been a plant person before, but a few weeks ago I started watering the plants here. We got an irrigation system like last week, so I was hand watering all the plants, and I noticed as I was contributing to the plants, I was having a greater sense of me, a greater sense of communion, a greater sense of being than I had had before. And I was so proud that I was being an energy and doing things for these plants that I could be proud of. And it really changed how I saw me.
Wow. So that energy of being proud when you actually know you're contributing to
Yeah.
something greater is
Yeah.
huge. Yeah.
Yep. When you know you're contributing to something greater. And I'm guessing that's probably what a lot of the people who work at with El Lugar get, because
Yeah.
they get to know the gift that they are contributing to.
Yes. Yes. And there's so many people that I'm meeting. There's one gentleman he's, you would say, maybe the director of all the planting that's going on. And he has this level of enthusiasm that radiates through. You can go check him out. His name is, oh, I just lost it. Not Henry. It is Juan. His name is Juan, and El Lugar has a YouTube channel. So that's LEL dash Lugar, a YouTube channel where he tells his story. There's subtitles there, but he has this enthusiasm that radiates that anyone that is there working with him, there's part of this sense of wanting to educate people, but looking to transmit this joy and possibility of what they're doing. They were just planting trees. There's the whole reforestation going out there in what we call the lot two. And it was so cute to watch because he was educating me on the different trees and the names and, what they're creating and what they'll actually invite as far as birds and insects and all this stuff. But that I was proud. I had never looked at that energy, but that sense of, wow, I'm a part of this.
Yeah, that acknowledging that you're actually a part of something that is creating something greater in the world.
And for you to share your home is that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we've been asking for since the beginning. It's quite amazing when, because ask and you shall receive is something that's actually true. And getting to play with asking and receiving for these different things that are so far beyond what I'd considered before and what most people would consider. And then getting to experience it and be there and contribute to it as it's actually showing up is just mind blowing.
And that is the invitation of this podcast. This is our earth. Like, it really is the choices and the actions that we're taking. Whatever it is that you're choosing, like you said, Bret, it could be watering your garden. It could be looking at what you're choosing to add to your house or your space or your room. But what if we can contribute by being this energy, whether if it's gratitude, being proud of what we're choosing, and actually contribute to the planet with that, yeah. Wow, Bret. And that's the space right now. This space is the space you were referring to about when you go into nature.
Yeah.
What is that space and that nurturance, kindness, gifting.
Because
Yeah.
nature has a energy, it has a vibration, it's constantly gifting. And it's like every single thing that you could possibly have in your house, have in your space, have in your place, there isn't any part of it that wasn't created from some element of the earth.
Wow.
Even the stuff, even like concrete, plastic, man-made things, all of them still came from the earth. Except if you have like a meteorite in your house that like flew from outer space.
And if you do, let us know.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. So to actually I'm all of a sudden like the sense of becoming aware of everything around you, because this is the other part that I'm really fascinated with, where we have this point of view, the earth is outside. Once I'm touching the ground, there's the earth, and yet it is everywhere. So, wow, I know I will definitely look at my space different, very
Exactly.
different.
And the thing I'd love to leave people with is just to take a look at your space and notice the different things in it and look to see what actually is a contribution to you and what's not a contribution to you, and see, what you can do to maybe sell the things or gift the things or get rid of the things that aren't a contribution, and ask for what else could I have in my life, in my space, that would give me that greater sense of communion like I have when I'm out in nature.
Wow. So beautiful. And I get, like you said, there's so many different places we could continue this conversation. And Bret, when we looked at, having this podcast, you mentioned that this is something you're beginning to venture out more in the world with this conversation. What do
Yeah.
you have in creation here that you may wish to invite people to?
That is so funny that you say that, Sylvia, because I, I don't, I, it hasn't it hasn't shown up yet in any kind of form, but it is something I'm asking for. I know we talked about it the other day, just the other day.
But I love it because these are the conversations I'm excited about throughout this podcast, because they're the conversations that we perhaps have judged as weird,
Yeah.
as like, what are you talking about? That my sense is that there's more people, more now, that may be open to this possibility, that maybe there was a whisper in their world and yet no one around was talking about it or being it. I had another lady on, and she talked about how she speaks to plants. But for me, the beautiful part was that she's also listening, which I was like, oh, my sense is that I'm aware of something, but I've never been willing to actually listen, like to ask a question and listen. So these are the elements for all of you that are new to this podcast of This Is Our Earth. These are the kind of conversations I'm looking to have, the ones that, we're just maybe venturing out to speak about. And if they're weird to you, that's okay. But if you're still here on to the end of this show, there may be something that you also know that might be so different, that might be contributing to the planet way beyond what anybody else is talking about. And Bret, that for me has been this conversation. So you'll have to let us know. Maybe when you do choose something and you'd like to share, you can always come back.
Yes, please. And if you've been inspired by our conversation here and you'd like to venture into this topic more, please find me on social media or message or find Sylvia on social media and let us know.
Yeah. Again, Bret Rockmore,
Yeah.
Rockmore. I love it. EJG. Easy, simple,
Uh,
yeah. Thank
cool.
you so much, Bret. Anything else?
Just thank you so much, Sylvia. I'm so grateful that you and the gaggle of El Lugar are creating this podcast, and I'm just so grateful for everything you're all creating in the world, because this is the beginning of a different possibility for the earth.
Yes. Wow. How does it get any better than this? Thank you all. And until the next episode, we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this show. My target is to inspire new actions and conversations that empower us all to know that we are the ones creating the future. If you'd like a way to contribute to our podcast, please leave a review wherever you listen. And for information about El Lugar, visit l-lugar.com. Thank you.